friends. Hello. Welcome. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a nice morning. I'm wearing a gray shirt, and I'm looking for anyone out there who is wearing a gray shirt, who wants to just catch up, have a little morning coffee on a Friday, see what's going on in this world. In fact, my buddy, John Acuff, is going to come in here. I don't know if you're a friend of John's, but man, this guy, he makes me happy literally when skies are gray. And so I'm going to try and see if I can't find John. Where, oh, where is my friend John? Everybody having a good start to their day? I hope so. I got my gray V-neck on, just waiting, find my friend. I don't know if John's going to have a gray V-neck or if he's going to have a straight collared shirt. What if he has a collared shirt? Don't know. All right, hold on. What a terrible way to start a live. Looking for John. Well, someone's got gray PJs on. That counts. That definitely counts. All right, maybe we're going to have to do a live together. What up, Dean? I am wearing the shirt that I think you helped me get, you son of a gun. All right. Oh, I almost said hide the live video from John. I'll just go live with. Ladies and gentlemen,
hey!
It's Friday mornings with Dave and John.
We did it. Look at the gray shirt. Look at that.
Did you notice that I just called it Friday mornings with Dave and John as if
I like that.
My name had to go first? It's not right,
It's like
John.
a Dave and Buster's thing. Eventually, we'll just call it DJ.
DJ.
DJ morning. I love it. And Dave,
can I ask you real quick before we get into the heavy stuff? Is it hard being that handsome?
I found it pretty easy so far. I would say this entire week, no one bothered me about my amount of handsomeness. I walked the streets like a commoner. No one was like, I hate to do this, but can I take your image? Can I capture it? And then I was like, sir, please, no. So yeah,
No.
It was pretty easy this week. I found this head was very easy to walk around with this week.
John, how's the launch of your book, of your soundtracks, of your blue covered book? I see you have a banner.
Look, yeah, we got a banner. So that's when you know you're just at banner level, which is pretty nice. When you have a banner and it's subtle, like when you can put a 7 feet tall like skyscraper behind your head at all moments.
Tell me you have a book coming out without telling me you have a book coming out. Oh, it's a humongous banner in your house.
What? I forgot. I would say in some of my most insecure moments on airplanes when I'd be traveling and somebody would go, what do you do? And I'd say, I write books. I could tell in their face that they thought I did self-published books about dragons. And I would say, yeah, a few of them have hit the New York Times bestsellers list. And it was so insecure because why do I need to let the person next to me who I will never see again? I will never in their entire life. Like when they leave, I should say, enjoy the rest of your life. Why do I need to get that guy's approval? Like but dude, confession. I've done that a bunch of times.
Plenty of time. Are you kidding me? I do it all the time. It's the most obnoxious.
Oh, it's so bad.
NYTBS? Yeah, of course. What are you talking about?
Honest right out of the gate. Like there's no time for nonsense. Gray shirts and honesty. I love it.
All right, we're going to make this a staple. This is what we're doing on Friday mornings from now until the end of time.
Nice. Well, I brought 7 questions, and I prepped for this. Yeah, because I feel like last time you did an amazing job asking me questions about soundtracks. It's done well. It hit number 2 on the Wall Street Journal bestsellers list, which we were thrilled about because last time finished, my last book I released, 50% of the first week sales came from live events. And guess what's not happening right now, Mr. Dave Hollis?
No live events.
Live event. So this one has been brick by brick, book by book. So we're thrilled, but I have 7 questions. I'm going to jump right in.
Let's
not even waste any people's time. Who is on your text, not tweet list? Everyone has a list of friends that they will text things to that they would never put on Twitter. They would never put on Instagram because the internet would murder them. So I want to just who's on your list?
Well, my neighbor, Brady, has become like one part therapist, one part encouraging, motivating accountability partner, one part joke teller. But he is definitely the person where if I've got a thought that is appropriate for 0 humans on the planet, I'm gonna go ahead and just shoot it on over to him so I can get it right on out. Goodbye.
Yeah.
and move on down the road.
The last thing I sent to a group of friends that I didn't post was I was at my post office box at the UPS store next to the Publix grocery store. This is Wednesday. Open up 3 boxes. The last box is a tiny little box, and I open it up, and it's 4 joints that somebody had mailed from California. And marijuana is not legal in Nashville, so I was like, all of a sudden, I was like, is this a sting operation? And like, I didn't know what to do with the UPS, and like the smell. And like, it was really well designed. The branding, I'm going to text you the photo because the branding is on point. Like, it was like Uncle Henry's, like, all natural cannabis. I don't know what it was, but I was like, what do I do with this? But can you imagine that? Like,
no. What's weird is this is a strange thing because there are places where you can just walk down. You could go to CVS. You could go walk into a grocery store or a weed dispensary. They all live right next to each other. It's totally normal.
Not in my state. It's still
in your state, not so much, right?
Yeah, and so
here's the thing. Like in Texas, if you wanted to buy booze, right? Like you can't buy booze on Sunday because there's like some law that makes you feel like you're like closer to God or whatever it might end up being if you can't buy booze for a 24-hour period.
I remember Jesus saying that. There was one of those that was in the Message, actually. The Message translation was like, no Sunday booze sales. And you're like, that's real specific, Jesus, but okay.
Right.
Okay, first question. Second question, cheesiest movie you secretly love? Like a cheesy movie that you're like, oh man, like if it's on TBS, I'm catching the last half hour. If I see it on a plane when I'm scrolling through, I'm going to watch it.
Cheesy.
I'll give you an example. Do you need an example?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll take an example.
Aspen Extreme, a ski movie from the 90s. They called it the Top Gun of the slopes.
Yeah.
Can't Hardly Wait, a movie where a writer falls in love with Jennifer Love Hewitt? Yeah. And is not popular. It was a movie about an unpopular writer who gets the pretty girl. I wonder why I identified with it. But what's your I want a cheesy movie from you.
A cheesy movie. I mean, like, I'm so terrible because I rewatch the same 12 movies over and over and over. I am
Give us one of those
when it comes to variety. Like American President with Annette Bening and Michael Douglas.
Yep.
If that movie is on at any point in the movie, I will just go ahead and finish it on up.
You're in.
The whole thing. Shawshank Redemption. Like not cheesy at all. Best movie of all time.
Yeah.
But if that movie is playing on TBS, I'm gonna go just stop what I'm doing. Did you have a meeting? No, I don't have a meeting. I'm just going to finish. I got an hour and 26 more minutes.
There's a guy crawling in a pipe.
Let it go. Yeah. But cheesy, like I actually was crazy for anything that Chris Farley was in back in the day. So like if you got me Tommy Boy, like I don't even think that's cheesy. That's just classic.
Black Sheep.
Black Sheep was definitely like the poor man's Tommy Boy, and that was not very good. And yet I would still watch it start to finish.
What about Beverly Hills? Wasn't he like a Beverly Hills Ninja?
I have to draw the line.
I draw the line.
No, I'm sorry.
It's good to have standards. Okay, third question. Book you've read minus the Bible more than any other book. So like a book this is the title that and I'll give you another option. Book you've given away more than any other book. That's not your own.
Yeah. I have talked more often lately than anything else about Untethered Soul. I have only read it a couple of times, but I love that book. I just think it's so good for having a conversation with your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. You're the observer of your thoughts. Yep. Love that.
Who's that one by?
Michael Singer.
Michael Singer.
Yeah, fantastic book. But then the book that I probably have told more people to read or have bought for more people is Mindset by Carol Dweck. Because like for me in personal development, world, so skeptical to everything, mostly because I was very much fixed mindset oriented, and that book opened my eyes to the possibility of, oh wow, there is actually a way to reach for growth. Yeah, Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. I've had many a conversation with Charles now also, but that book, just understanding the habit loop was super, super powerful for me too in this. Like those books aren't like fun necessarily,
but they fiction. Give me what's a fiction title that you're like, that's my jam? Or do you read a lot of fiction?
I don't. So the thing is, I don't tend to read a lot of fiction. I think the last thing I read was like Da Vinci Code. So I don't read. But like that kind of could have maybe happened in real life. John Grisham-esque kind of like genre. I know that's not John Grisham, but like I've read Grisham stuff before. Like that kind of stuff I dig. But
What
I'm
about?
not into.
I'll give you a recommendation. The Count of Monte Cristo. Like,
Oh,
check out The Count of Monte Cristo. You can do the audiobook. It's fantastic. Every revenge movie that we've grown up with is based off of The Count of Monte Cristo. So,
all
like,
right.
John Wick is based off The Count of Monte Cristo. Like, Man on Fire is based on The Count of Monte Cristo. Like, Payback, Mel Gibson based on, like, it's brilliant and entertaining, and it's slow paced. And so, like, yeah, check out The Count of Monte Cristo. That's my
Yo,
recommendation.
all right.
All right.
Question 3.
Fourth question is now, what is tonal? I want to hear tonal. I want to hear, give me tonal. Like, I saw a post where you're like, oh, I have a tonal in my room. Like, I want the tonal journey.
Not sponsored by Tonal. Needs to be. Tonal sponsor us up.
Tonal, slide into those DMs. Let's go. This will be our first sponsor for the DJ show.
So imagine that it's like there is a TV of sorts that like sits not vertically, but horizontal, or not horizontally, but vertically. And it's just like a big iPad. You tap the screen, and all of a sudden there are people who are instructing you how to do certain workouts. And there are arms on said TV that have cables that then create some kind of resistance that if you want to do some kind of upper body, lower body, like full body, anything. And it is, I love it. I mean, I love getting out into my garage gym, doing a little bit of Tabata workout with my buddy Brady, but also I installed it in my master bedroom in my room so that the first thing I do when I roll out of bed is literally take 3 steps and sit down and do the stupid workout so that I can start. No excuses. I start my day pumped up, let's go, and I feel good.
I love it. I love it. All right, 5th question. Petty thing that drives you crazy. Like, this is petty. Like, you should not, like, like, oh, this is so petty, but it drives me crazy. My example to kick you off is when somebody slowly gets off an airplane. Like, we had 30,000 feet of notification, this thing was ending. We approached the Earth. Like, 5 miles of travel to a planet, and you're like, oh, I didn't know. And then you slowly gather. That's my petty thing that I'm like, it's not a big deal. Like, don't, like, but inside I'm kind of like, I'm white hot rage. What's something petty that you're like, you know what, this?
In my home, well, there's a new phenomenon in 2 households, which is a little game called Do We Own the Electric Company? So, like, if I have just taken the kids over to mama's house and I am now walking through my home and I find that literally every single light that has ever had a chance to be turned on has been left on, hurts my heart. But also, and this is the thing I thought of first, because this is the thing that actually drives me bonkers. Wet towels left on the floor by my children. Like, I know how hard it must be, the labor involved in reaching all the way up to that towel rack. But this is something that absolutely drives me bananas because I will find a mildewed, crumpled up towel 4 days after we've had some weekend gathering, and I want to then use it to strangle somebody with and go to jail for the rest of my life. And it seems like a bad choice.
I don't think you'd survive in a prison yard very long if that was what got you in. If they were like, "What'd that guy do over there? He strangled somebody with a wet towel." Whoa, let's stay away from that guy. He's the wet towel strangler.
The rep I walk through the yard with.
No, it's not going to go well. Ours is if my kids puts dirty dishes in the sink without checking if the dishwasher has room for said dirty dishes. Like, it's 17 inches away, and it involves this motion. Like, mainly this motion to go, oh, I just put them in there. So when they put them in the sink, that's where I'm like, dude, come on, you're killing me. You're killing me. All right, question number 6. Clothing item that you used to constantly rock that makes you wince now. Like, there was a staple of your wardrobe that you were like, oh, this is like, Seth Godin has cool glasses. Writer Seth Godin wears cool glasses. Or, like, different people are like, I have cool socks. Like, at some point in your life up to this moment, there was a clothing item that you're like, Dave Hollis is about that. And then now you look back on it and go, somebody should have told Dave Hollis, that ain't it, dude. That ain't it.
Pants. No.
What kind of pants? yeah. I never wear them. I like the breeze.
No, what's interesting, I have been threatening myself to clean out the closet that currently still contains every suit, every button-up, everything that was the corporate life that I had before this life that I now live. Okay. And yet I'm so connected to and invested in some ways to, like, the person I used to be, that the idea that I would take these suits. I had this job where I was always flying in and out of the countries where we were putting movies into theaters. And Hong Kong was among the places that I would go a couple times a year. And so most of the suits that I have, I ended up getting at this one place. Like they just were the place that I would go to, and they were the best, the most amazing. And they made the suits right to my frame. I mean, they probably made it to a bigger frame back then, but they made the suits. And so now I see these suits hanging up. It's like a rainbow of suits. I haven't worn a suit in 3 years. What would
How
I
many
wear a suit
suits,
for?
ballpark, are we talking 10 suits?
Like 15.
15 suits. And you were an executive with Disney, do I have that right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. So that brings me to my second question. Club 33. Amazing, magical, right?
So have you been?
I've been.
Okay, so I thought, so here's the thing. I had not been for a long, long time. In Club 33, if you're not familiar, at Disneyland, there's this thing that you can go to inside of like the New Orleans Square kind of
you
area.
You press a little button,
you press a button, door opens, it's like a secret society. Because I had never been and had heard so many people talking about all the craziness, I built it up to being like heaven light. Like I just figured.
Shangri-La.
Right,
Xanadu.
Yeah. I was just like, oh, you walk in, there's palm fronds, they carry you to your table, feed you little cutlets of meat. Like I just assumed that I was, and so I went and had a lovely time. Thank you very much. But I also left going, oh, we just went to a restaurant. That was weird. I thought that they would, like there was no gravity inside of this building. No, there was gravity.
That's
so I liked it, but I built it up more. Like so
probably because of where you worked. Like for me, I'd never worked at Disney, so this was like I went in with no expectation. That's an interesting principle of like when you have high expectation versus low expectation. Because there's been vacation spots I've been to that everyone talked about, and I went there and I had the same thought, and I was like, and then you feel like a jerk because you're like, I kind of didn't like that. So like, am I ungrateful?
Is something wrong with me? Yeah,
that's fascinating.
By the way, there's something wrong with me. Don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah. That's not me. There's a list for both of us. The clothing item for me was watches. I used to have this chunky Nike sports watch that was like a wristband almost, but had a digital watch. Like, and I look at photos, and I don't have like a massive arm, and it was probably like 80% of my arm, and it looked like I was landing the space shuttle. And I was like, people will know I'm into exercise. Look at this. Like, and it had no functions. All it did was tell the time. So that was mine. The last one, this is a random one, and these have all been kind of random because it's fun. A celebrity, okay, you're entered into a doubles tournament for pickleball. There's it's a charity. It's for a great charity. And you have to pick a celebrity as a doubles partner for pickleball. I've never played pickleball, but I imagine it involves a lot of side-to-side motion.
Yeah.
So you have to pick somebody who's going to help you win, but you also want to enjoy the experience. So you can't, pick somebody who you think they're going to dominate, but they're going to be a jerk. I don't want to hang out with them. Who are you picking as your celebrity doubles pickleball partner?
I mean, I think I might go down like the Ron Swanson Parks and Rec kind of route. Like this is like I'm not going to win, but I'm going to have the best time losing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I because I could find a ringer and win a pickleball tournament, but would I have fun winning, or would I have fun laughing at Ron Swanson in character? I'm not saying I want the actor. I'm saying I want Ron Swanson, the character.
That's a good pick. That's a real
to come
good pick.
with his curmudgeoned.
Oh.
Yes, I mean That's what I would want.
Okay, side question: have you ever, in the competitive sense, taken something that should be fun and enjoyable and gotten too competitive at it and sucked all the joy right out? And I have an example of my life, but have you ever done that?
Like every day? Yes,
yeah,
of course.
Everything that comes in my path? Yes, John, yes.
Do you want the examples alphabetically or chronologically? I'm happy to go either way.
I hired a ping pong coach. Like my wife said I needed a hobby because I was a workaholic, and I was like, I like ping pong. I went to the Team USA official website and contacted, there's only 2 ping pong coaches in the state of Tennessee that are sanctioned. And I asked them to coach me, and one did. And it was a ridiculous series of weeks of like, he would throw ping pong balls at me and yell, kill, kill, kill. And what he was saying is, he wasn't telling me to kill it. He was saying, if you hit that weak shot back to me, I would have killed it. He was like a 65-year-old man from mainland China. That's how I started to say it, because he said it. So like, dude, and the whole story is longer and ridiculous, but that is my greatest, funniest example of my wife was like, "You turned ping pong into an act of workaholism." And I was like, "I sure did."
Yes, I did. Thank you for seeing me use my love language well.
Yeah. So okay. So give me one of your examples where you tried to you got into painting and you tried to become the best painter.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of just like anything happening in the backyard can always tip almost immediately into it. Like we'll do, hey, it's Thanksgiving, let's do a decathlon, an Olympics kind of thing where there's a bunch of different events, and it seems like it's just fun. We're having fun. And then one of my kids, what's crazy is it'll be like my 12-year-old, who is super competitive and athletic, will be like, oh, okay, I'll show you, old man. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
exactly.
Now it's time for me to forget that I have 35 years of age on you. I'm going to just, I'll dunk on you. I'll run fat, whatever. So there's something that just is innately, I think, competitive that lives inside of me, that all of a sudden a backyard Olympics turns into a blood sport, and Jean-Claude Van Damme should jump out. Yeah, Thanksgiving.
And there's no real
what are we grateful for?
Other than the lost relationship. The only thing you're winning is an apology later. Like, that's your only prize.
Yeah, no, my prize is the shame of not having been the dad I'd hoped to be. So, awesome.
Yeah.
What are you grateful for today? We go around the table. Today I'm thankful for Dad showing his colors. Yeah, true colors.
Yeah. I found a new thing to talk to a therapist about in 20 years. That's what I'm thankful for today. I always my friend says he's going to give his kids a list and say, this will save you 6 months of therapy. Here's the 10 most obvious things I did wrong. And I think it's so it's funny true. But dude, those are my questions. I love doing this.
Oh man,
I'm so glad we made time for it. So man, let's do it next week. I'll text you midweek about shirt color.
We got to figure it out. Yeah, no, up front we have to figure it out. Yeah.
And branding wise, we got to figure it out.
Good news. Next week, it's going to be an international version of the Dave and John show. In that I'll be in Mexico on Friday. So I'm going to bring you some international flavor, as it were.
We're already in 2 countries. That's exciting. We need to brand that.
We're expanding this very, very quickly.
That's the first time you speak in Canada, you say you're an international speaker, and people assume you mean The Hague or Slovenia. And you're like, no, Toronto. Yeah. Greater Toronto, not even Toronto.
When you're on an airplane, by the way, and someone asks if you're a speaker, and you can say, well, I'm an international speaker. Man, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've spoken in multiple countries.
Sometimes in multiple countries, I'll talk about my New York Times bestsellers. That's how you can work both of your...
You want to question what I do, sir? You want to question what I do?
Yeah,
Todd?
Exactly. I'll bring receipts. Well, the problem, Dave, is people go, name a book you've written, I'll let you know if I've heard it, which is the equivalent of saying, tell me your most successful thing, and I'll tell you if I agree. No one ever says that to an accountant. They never go, tell me whose taxes you did, I'll tell you if I've heard of them. And you go, never heard of the Johnsons, your life is a waste. That's how dude, we could do 100 of these. 100. All right, dude, I'll let you go.
All right.
Love you, Dave.
Love you too, brother.
Always so fun. Have a great rest of your Friday. I'll see you in Mexico.
Sounds good. Have a good day, everybody. Have a good weekend.